Martina, imagine you're sitting at your desk. You've got your favorite pencil in hand, but you're staring down at a perfectly blank sketchbook page. Today, we are going to explore the fascinating, invisible landscapes of the creative mind. We're taking a warm, curious look at how visual artists translate their inner worlds right onto the physical page. This explainer is dedicated specifically to you and your dad, so let's dive right into this incredible journey of the mind. So, before that very first mark appears on the paper, where does the artwork actually exist? Think about it. Is it fully formed in your head? Is it nowhere at all? It's a deceptively simple question, but man, it opens up an entire universe of cognitive science. The truth is, there's absolutely no single right way a piece begins. For you, it might spark as a crystal clear, vivid picture in your mind's eye. Or maybe it starts as just a few internal words. Sometimes it's a spatial sense of balance and placement, a sudden emotion or bodily feeling, or honestly, just an incomplete idea that only gets clearer once you actually start drawing. Artists definitely do not share one single cognitive archetype. Section 1. Mapping Inner Experience. To really grasp this, we have to look at the incredible diversity of pristine inner experience. For instance, if you happen to think in words, your internal landscape is wonderfully varied. Inner speech can be what we call dialogic, like an expansive conversation between different perspectives, weighing options right inside your head. Or it could be monologic, just a single, steady stream of thought. It can also be totally expanded, sounding like a full, complete sentence, or incredibly condensed, where a single internal word carries the semantic weight of a whole paragraph. You might just think the word shadow, and bam, your brain instantly knows exactly what that means for the entire composition. To break this down a bit more, researchers using a specific method called descriptive experience sampling, or DES, have mapped out 5 frequent phenomena of everyday consciousness. By having people randomly record their thoughts throughout the day, these DES researchers identified inner speaking, inner seeing, unsymbolized thinking, feelings, and sensory awareness. Now keep in mind, this is just a specific framework used by these researchers, not some universal taxonomy of the brain, but it brilliantly illustrates just how wildly varied human thought can be. You might even encounter what researchers call unsymbolized thought. It's an ongoing area of debate in cognitive science, but it's purported pretty frequently. It basically happens when you hold a specific, explicitly differentiated idea in your mind, but without any accompanying words, visual images, or symbolic representations. You just sort of know what you want to draw as a pure abstract concept before any actual picture or word even forms. Section 2. Thinking without pictures. But what happens if your mind's eye operates completely without an internal canvas? Let's talk about aphantasia, where people report little to no voluntary visual imagery. And I want to be super clear here. This is absolutely not a deficiency. It simply means relying on a completely different yet highly effective set of cognitive pathways to create. You aren't missing anything. Your brain is just taking a different, equally awesome route. For example, in one general scene drawing study, participants with aphantasia were asked to draw a room from memory. While they did recall fewer specific visual object details compared to a control group, they preserved abstract spatial placement with incredible accuracy. Because they don't rely on visual memory, they use highly effective compensatory strategies. They might not necessarily see a chair in their mind, but they know the exact spatial coordinates of where that chair belongs on the page. Section 3. The thinking pencil. So if the artwork isn't always sitting perfectly finished in the mind's eye, let's step into the artist's studio to see how it finally arrives on the page. Many artists describe developing their work iteratively, through references, exploratory marks, learned rules, and feedback from the emerging artwork. We can look at this through the theoretical interpretation of extended cognition. In the studio, we use beautiful metaphors for this, like hand-powered thought and the thinking pencil. Under this theoretical interpretation, drawing isn't merely reproducing a completed image that you already had in your head. Instead, the artwork becomes an active part of the thinking process itself. It's a collaborative conversation. You make a mark, the paper shows you something new, you react to it, and the artwork actively helps you discover the idea as you go. Emerging research into the brain's networks actually supports this dynamic view. Creative generation requires a changing coordination among multiple brain networks, constantly reacting to the feedback of the emerging artwork. Now, the precise neural dynamics are still under investigation, and a lot of these supporting experimental tasks were based on general studies rather than professional artists making finished work. But they do show us that creativity is this continuous, dynamic loop of iterating through references, marks, and immediate feedback. Section 4. the internal critic. As those exploratory marks begin to really take shape, another familiar element usually joins the process near the end: your internal critic. According to one general idea evaluation study, the way we talk to ourselves matters immensely. Evaluative inner speech, where you are constructively assessing what works and what needs tweaking, can beautifully guide your revisions. However, that same study found that overly self-critical inner speech was actually associated with lower confidence. Now, while this wasn't proven specifically in adolescent visual artists, it's a fantastic reminder that recognizing the difference between helpful evaluation and harsh self-criticism is key to trusting your own process. Section 5. Joining the conversation. Ultimately, exploring all these amazing cognitive mechanics isn't about diagnosing yourself into some rigid category. It is entirely about empowering your own unique evolving process. The question is not, what type of artist are you? It is, what forms does your thinking take today? And what happens when your pencil joins the conversation? Martina, as you and your dad chat about this explainer later, I'd love for you to consider 4 questions. 1. Do your ideas begin as pictures, words, spatial relationships, feelings, or marks? 2. Does drawing record an idea, discover it, or both? 3. Does your internal voice change between free experimentation and detailed revision? And 4. What does the artwork show you that you simply could not see before making it? For anyone curious to explore the science further, here are the principal academic sources that provided the foundation for our journey today. Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of the creative mind. Keep sketching, Martina, keep asking those brilliant questions, and we'll see you in the next explainer.